an edited intro or like an intro phrase for us
Like a
physically?
like a physical intro phase, like a phrase that we could just use to
Like the first thing you record.
yeah, like
How about hello?
just like hi, and then you just pause for like 2 seconds, and then you just keep going. uh,
Hello. Yeah, no, actually, you're so right, bro. It's like those are like the little things that make this shit feel so anal.
but anyway, what's a good intro, man? What we got?
What's up? Nah, I hate those
Yeah,
words.
yeah. Go ahead. What's up?
What's up, guys? We're back at it again. Da, da, da. And it's weird because by the time you watch somebody else's shit, it's already been like a staple. They keep it.
And it's just like okay.
They just do it like relentlessly as a joke. But like, we don't want to make a joke. Like, we could make a joke one that's like cringy on purpose, or we
But
could
it
just
has to be
try to not
good.
be.
If it's a joke, we got to make it good. Like it could be cringy, but it has to be like cringe good. There's a difference between cringe good and just straight cringe.
Exactly. I feel like there should be like a level of honesty almost, like to like kind of take down the how professional everything has to feel. Like we're not professionals, just two guys wanting to talk, wanting to create a safe, weird, safe space. I don't know.
I mean that works. It's just however
Yeah, we
that.
gotta vibe it up, especially because I feel like the Twilight Taboo sets a certain tone. It sets like a
It's a
classy tone,
yeah.
you know?
It's a classy lounge tone. Like you come into the bar is open, and we just chat.
Oh, he's like, welcome. Yeah, yeah, that's what you say, bro. Come into the bar is open. Let's get ready to chat, you guys. Twilight Taboo, something like that, you know?
All right,
And
I
we
could dig
and
it.
then
I could dig with that.
yeah, yeah, just welcome people into the bar, welcome people to the taboo, the Twilight, and then fuck, I don't want to lose the second part. And then the second part is like we talk about serious stuff, but we don't get too serious,
I
something
mean,
like that. So we
I
talk
mean,
about serious things with open mind.
yeah, it's open minded. If it gets like really deep serious, that's all right. I mean, that's just how the conversation's gonna go. But yeah,
Mm,
all right, that'll be a work in progress. But that's a start. That's a start. But um,
mm. But I like the saying just to say like it kind of lines up our topics so we can talk about shit, but also not embody. Because I mean, eventually, after we have so many episodes, we're gonna talk about so much shit. You're gonna have your opinion on something solidified in a video. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Eventually. So it's like I feel like it's better to just kind of dilute that and just speak from a more general mindset, or just like from a person from my background, or from my perspective. This is how I see it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Not really
yeah.
give a definitive
It's really just keeping an open mind and being respectful. That's just pretty much how it is.
respect. I'm
But
mad.
but but that actually that brings on a topic that I had came up with when I was thinking about it throughout the whole day, or actually this week. I was just thinking, I was like, you know, what would be a good topic to just start instead of like going into like all the other stuff that we were talking about. Because I had
Mm-hmm.
experienced this. I had it.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple times this week, I've had experiences in this situation where I'm like, you know what? I'm very curious on this, and I want to have like a little deep dive convo on it. And the one word that sums it all up is misunderstandings. Like, you ever had a situation where you and a person were talking and they misunderstood something, and you're like super confused on what they meant, and then you're like, oh wait, no, that's not what I meant. I meant this, and then they just be like backtrack and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant this," and then it started leaving down a whole rabbit hole of things that really could have been avoided if you one person listened to the other or tried to at least understand one side?
I yeah, yeah. Are we jumping to the topic right now?
Yep, I'm jumping right in.
Wow. So misunderstanding. I feel like a lot of misunderstandings come from not communicating fully. You know what I mean? Meaning like people and like you said, and I feel like the best way to do it is that two people come together, say something really quick, and then leave. No elaboration, no like, oh, so this is kind of what you meant. You know what I mean? No like doubling back and confirming. And then you guys go about your business, come back after the fact, and now you want to figure out, exactly what that person meant. And it's interesting too because as soon as you said that, I didn't think about actual misunderstandings. I thought about how hard it was to talk to certain people once you ask them to repeat themselves or some shit. You ever talk to somebody and like once like you get one chance. You ask them to repeat themselves once, it's over. It's like,
Yeah,
no, you weren't
it's
listening to me. You don't deserve to understand anything I was ever thinking about. Vibe is dead. Vibe is dead.
it's like were you even listening the first time? I'm like, yes, I was, but there was one thing I was confused about, and I just wanted to ask.
Exactly, bro. And it's like, I don't want to. I don't. Maybe maybe it's my fault. I feel like I have a lot of misconceptions with with women. I feel like they want mind reading to go along, or it's like not even mind reading. It's like everyone knows or jokes about it too. You know why they say the good guy always finish last. It's like you got to play either devil's advocate or reverse psychology. When it, I don't know. Hmm.
I was about to
Hmm.
say, well, I was
I
like,
throw it out.
what do you mean by reverse psychology? You trying to make them read your mind, or you having? Because I'm like, what?
I don't know. I mean, see, now this is getting. I guess this is getting more personal. This isn't everybody's experience. I just feel like
All right.
I
Well,
want to finish. And
what's an experience that you could elaborate on then?
that what that made me feel like I was supposed to be reading minds.
Yeah, either
Mm,
that or it's just like a complete misunderstanding. Like you meant something
okay,
differently, and it
okay.
just went like sideways for no reason.
Ooh, ooh, that's a little embarrassing. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the hardest thing, the easiest thing is like gift giving. I was having a conversation with this girl, and she was just talking about like if I was good at giving gifts or not. And it's like one of those things like the holidays that just came up, and then the birthdays are coming up, and people give gifts for you. So somebody buys you a really great gift once or twice, maybe, and then they put that pressure on you. Like, let me just give you a gift out of the blue because I know you'll like this. And then it's like, boom. Now all of a sudden, I have to figure out I have to like figure out what you want, what's gonna like blow your mind, make you excited, is also giftable, is also like not too expensive but not too cheap, so you'll appreciate it.
Hmm.
It's just if there was just clear communication, like, hey, I want some AirPods, and I just go out and buy some AirPods. It's simple, you know what I mean? But it takes away all the thrill. It takes away all the I just want him to do it because he wants to do it for me. Or I just want him to do it because he's thinking about me. Not because I
Yeah.
told him to do it.
Yeah. No, all right.
Mm,
I get that in some degree. As far as like gift giving misunderstandings, that all right. So anybody who's listening, who's watching, whatever. So I work at a jewelry store. I'm not saying where, but people who know, whatever. So I work at a jewelry store, and it's nice seeing people come in to get gifts for, especially during the holidays. There was a lot of people that were like getting stuff for their significant others, for their families, and all that stuff. It's cool. It's nice. So one person came in recently after the holidays, after New Year's, and they wanted to do a return. And I was like, oh, like is there something different you want or anything like that? I was just asking, like, just out of curiosity, like, what made you change your mind? Because it was a really nice necklace. She's like, he
mm,
tried. And I was like, oh, you can't just say that, he tried. because like it was really nice and it was
Wait, did
expensive.
she disappointed in him? It
Yeah,
sounded like.
yeah, it was a $500 necklace, and she just said, he tried, and I was just like, oh,
That's so detrimental. That's
I
the
say
that's
that
the
that hurt.
manipulation
It's not
right there.
that's not even me, and that hurt my heart. Because usually when it comes to gifts, I try to
Mhm.
be observant of the person, or I try to pick up little cues. Say like someone likes to read. All right, maybe a book would be nice. What type of books do they like to read? All right, let me see if I could find something in that genre or what their favorite author or whatever. Or say if somebody needs something that they can't get right now or just little small things. Like small things are what counts most to me, especially if it's something that I know they can use and that it's really useful for them. I don't care
Right,
about
right.
jewelry or anything like that because half of the people that I see that be wearing jewelry coming from a person who works in it, they don't care about it as much as you think they should. There'd be like
Mm,
$5,000, $8,000 stuff that they just be like, here's some gunk. Can you clean it off for me? And I'm just like, I'd be having this cleaned every day. Like, again, I can't really say because,
So,
like, I don't wear jewelry, but still.
I have a question for you.
All right.
Now, working at a jewelry place and then, just revealing your mindset now, do you think you would gift jewelry often, if at all?
I
I
would
feel like you have to once or twice, but like,
I would
you know?
only give if I give jewelry to somebody, you mean something to me. That is the best way I can really say it, like as far as just say it in one sentence. If I give you jewelry, you mean something to me.
But you
Cause
see, so stop this. Imagine a girl watches this video, listens up until this point, got some jewelry for you, but she was like, why did he think about getting me those little everyday things? He got me this expensive little paperweight, and it was just easy and expensive.
expensive.
You know what I mean? Got you. Dude. She's like, yeah, you got me some jewelry, but what are you thinking about me? Every bitch got a neck. I mean, excuse me. For
No.
real, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, that I get, but like this is what I mean, like because I try to just be giving people like useful things, but when it comes to a point that you feel special to me, like I really care about you, you're like someone I deeply do care about, I'll give you something like jewelry. If it's a significant
Mhm.
other, obviously it'd be a ring, it'd be a necklace, because it's something that is like, all right, this signifies something, and I know you're gonna wear it every day. That type of thing.
Mhm.
If I'm dropping 500, I better see you wearing that 500 going around your neck. If I'm dropping 2,000, I better see that thing on your hand. But at the same time, I don't want to just give jewelry to anybody if they're just not going to wear it. So if it's something that I know that they're going to use, they're going to have around, like whatever is useful and resourceful and helpful for them, I'd rather gift that than just give junk.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. And I guess junk is like relative. You gotta, like you said, you gotta know the person. But I'm just hard. I'm trying to think back on this
Misunderstandings?
communication. Yeah, misunderstanding communications. I feel like it's so like broad. Like there's so many instances in my life. I feel like it's not just and a misunderstanding hasn't been like just one instance for me. I feel like it's been like a whole person. Like I thought you were somebody, and now you're that person, and boom, like my mind is blown. And I feel like maybe that's because I'm older, and I'm just like looking at things harder, trying to be more perceptive.
I think
But
I think that's usually
what?
what we consider a first impression. You have a first idea when you see somebody, but then when you really get to know them, then that becomes like whoa, I didn't expect you to be this way, that type of thing. Yeah.
That's interesting. So you feel like like I mean, not all first impressions, but first impressions could just be series of projections and misunderstandings. Because really, when you look at somebody, you can only assess them based off of your own knowledge. And what do you base like based off of other people that look like them, and that
Yeah,
like you don't really know.
or if we're gonna go into a, a scenario sense, so think of it as like you go to a bar, right? You sit at the bar, you're having a drink, and then you see this really fine ass girl across the way, and you're like, "Ooh, she is bad." So then you pass her a drink, you want to talk to her, she seems nice at first. Then you guys go home, and then it turns out she's a murderer, or she's a serial killer, or she's just a range old crazy. You never know because of just that first glance. So I guess that's
You,
one weird scenario.
yeah, you do need the time. I thought you were gonna say she's a man, but
That could be a scenario too. It's that could happen. It's not the first time I've heard stories like that. So, however, to each its own. Whatever happens, if some people are into that, who knows? I can't really say on that. But what was it? One scenario that happened this week. That was like a huge misunderstanding. Uh, there was this person I was talking to, and they had a situation go on that was like very detrimental. And I'm like, for me, I like to at least help out in any way I can, despite not being physically there. So
hmm
they're like panicking, and I'm like, look, just do this, do that. Like, I know where you're coming from with this, and I understand your scenario, but if you just listen, then maybe this could actually work. And then whatever that they took from me saying like anything to help them, they misconstrued it, and I'm just like, okay, all right,
Construed it into what?
as if I'm as if I'm pressuring or I'm antagonizing or just like you know how you try to come out as helpful, but then you seem the opposite.
I sometimes people come to you with a problem. They don't want you to come up with solutions right away. They just want you to like listen and marinate in the issue with them. I mean, it's hard, you know.
It is a hard thing. Like it's fine to just listen. It's actually great to listen. If you listen, then you can understand like where the person is coming from with the scenario. And it's this for me. I always tell people that look, whatever I tell you, it might be advice, it might be a solution, but you don't have to listen to what I have to say. You don't have to take it. You can listen, you can understand where I'm coming from, but if that's not a solution for you, that's fine. But at least you know that I at least tried to help with what I could. But don't misconstrue it as if I'm pressuring you to do something.
Exactly. So is that how you cleared it up? I guess at coming back around,
Oh no, I was
like the
just
whole.
so what I did was because what happened is as I was given the advice, and then they were actually repeating that same thing I was telling them to do back, but in a
hmm
different wording, and I was just like, okay, all right,
That happened.
and I'm like,
I,
I'm literally
that
I
happened.
legit said this but differently, so I get it.
You know what I want to say? I feel like okay. I hear you. I hear you. I completely hear you. I feel like my
That's what
entire
they
life.
say.
It's huh?
That's what
What I hear
they'd be
you.
like. I hear you. I hear you. Oh, okay. I understand now. It's like, do you?
I don't know. I feel like people have not. They don't expect you to be right or me. Like I was gonna say in my life, they don't expect me to be right or something. I don't know what it is, but naturally, innately, I just witness people be like, no, it's not that. And then completely line up. And like, it's like literally I'm rolling my eyes so hard in my head because I know the next sentence is about to be a version of what the hell I was explaining. What the hell is coming out of my mouth the entire time. Like, it's basically the same idea. And it's like humans are just we're kind of like combative, and we want to be right. You know what I mean? We want to come up with our own solutions and dictate a lot of things. So I feel like that's why the conclusion I come to why nobody will fucking listen to me. So everybody's like, no, it's my idea. It's my idea. Da, 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 da. I'm like, no, it's what I mean. I just given up on it because it's like being in a class and having the right answer for once, and the teacher never calls on you. And like it's
Yo,
just no
that
one.
happens to me so much. I'll admit, like half of the time I be having the answer, and so back in school, I used to be the type of person to sit in the back, or at least somewhere where I wouldn't get called on, but I could still pay attention and listen. And half the time I'd be having the answer right there, ready. I'm like, you know what? I should raise my hand. You know what? No, I won't. Then everybody has the wrong answer, and I'm just like, okay, should I do it?
Yeah,
And then
and you
I'm just like, all right.
they're like, oh.
But that's back in college, back in middle school and stuff. But back on the farm,
Mhm.
for listeners, me and James, we went to a boarding school in Pennsylvania, and we're just gonna call it the farm, so people can at least understand for future episodes. But anyway, so back at the farm, when you know how we would have laptops open and stuff like that, legit, I would just be in the corner photoshopping people. I had no time, just be paying. Yeah, I would be photoshopping people into different things. And I would just be
Well, I mean,
spreading it around, like Brandon. I'm gonna mention it when I get Brandon on here, but Brandon and Seely, I put, you know
mhm.
how they looked alike, so I photoshopped them two together, like how in Step Brothers, that poster, I put them together like that.
um, like a Step Brothers post. I'm about to say, do
Yeah.
you have any of the old Photoshop stuff?
Yeah, I still have it. I never lose anything. I'm the archivist from what I tell like people at the farm. I got everything.
Archivist,
All the images that is
what
yeah,
you call it?
let's just say I have all of
I
it.
got the deeds, the receipts, everything.
Yeah, all
Just
of
come
it.
to me.
Just if you need an image, I got it. Or if there
I
is one,
mean,
I'll make it.
a gift, a gift. Don't forget about the gifts. What you call it? I don't know, man. High school was interesting. Misunderstandings happen all over the world across all like arcs of life. Like
It's all over
the
the
big
place.
ones, there are little ones, there are funny ones, there are detrimental ones that end lives.
It,
Like
it, it
damn,
One thing I've noticed, misunderstandings can uh end lives, cause chaos, end relationships, break up families. It's like a situation that can never be solved unless an individual just listens. I'm just bringing that back around.
yeah,
Yeah,
man. I mean, it's pretty deep, honestly. It's like it's like just saying like a word is a mistake almost. Like all mistakes, all misunderstandings, all mistakes.
yeah,
But I feel like a misunderstanding is specifically okay. Here's one thing: misunderstandings are rectifiable. Specifically because a mistake could be like a physical mistake. You know, but a misunderstanding sounds like a lapse in communication, which means there would be less misunderstandings if people were better at communicating. If people were more steadfast, clear through words, on it. It's just a lot of things. But I feel like it's interesting because there's not a lot of ways you can practice the same level of communication. You can't talk to your friends the same way you talk to your parents. You don't talk to your parents the same way you talk to your boss or your regular coworkers, people you don't like. So there's so many different little intricate levels of all this types of crap. It's like, it's weird, and then that's why I look at a lot of I don't know. I mean, when I was younger, I used to look at like a lot of established people and grown people, and I was like, how are you picking one thing and sticking with it when the world is so malleable and
yeah,
you could be so
facts,
wrong blatantly? You know what I mean? You
facts.
just like your world could be wrong, and I don't know how you're walking so true in this, and it's wild, and it's wild because, bro, I've okay. I have a really great story about a misunderstanding. Okay. Uh, ooh, this is good. This is good. I used to work at a nonprofit. Okay, in America, we're capitalists, which means we like profit. In a nonprofit, guess what? We're still looking for profit. We're still looking for profit. So I ended up being swindled around 18 into working as a teacher's assistant for middle schoolers, right?
That doesn't
And I
sound
was
that bad.
18. Listen, I was getting paid like $4 an hour
Oh
in
no,
Miami.
no.
I had no money.
In Miami
I had
too? No.
literally, yeah, I was getting. I'm saying I don't know if it was $4 an hour exactly. I was getting about $600 biweekly, working 40+ hours a week. And they told us at the end of the program you'll get such and such $1,000. When you do the math, boy, when you play with the numbers, and this is why I love numbers because they don't lie to you. Basically, they paid you $10 an hour the entire time, no overtime, with that 6K on the backside. But you only got the 6K if you completed 1,700 hours of labor. So it's like if you did 1,699 hours of labor, you're not seeing that money. You just got paid $5 an hour for a year, and bye bye. Thank you, thank you. You failed.
That's
But anyway, that's
that's
crazy, right?
bugging.
So I'm working. It's wild, bro. It's life. It's life. Learn, look
Bugging.
out for yourself. Watch your back. Watch your pockets, cause it's life. I remember 6 months into the program, they had moved me into a new school, a new location because of some drama. And instead of really dealing with it face to face, they were like, we're just gonna shuffle everybody around. Threw me into a new school. My school was basically I had to commute. I had no real transportation. It was like an hour and a half by bus to my new school, as opposed to how easy it was for me to do the same commute I've been doing for 6 months. I'm going to my new school. I have a new team and everything. I'm kind of getting adjusted for a week, and 6 months in the program has so many levers because of how I just described it. You'd understand that a lot of people who show up are like, you know what? I'm gonna go work at McDonald's and make twice as much money. Bye, So 6 months in, they need to re-recruit people, and they do it. They do it. They recruit people 6 months in, and I remember just sitting in the office, like sitting in like the little team group area. My coworkers and peers, they were off in their classrooms, and I didn't have a classroom or anything yet because I was just gauging the school to figure out where I was going to work, where I was going to be placed. This is a crazy, crazy misunderstanding on so many. This whole thing is crazy misunderstanding. But that was just me in the workforce. Period. Then second misunderstanding, I would say, I didn't know that the person I was talking to was a new person. I thought they had been there for 6 months. So everybody 6 months in who's doing the job just talks their normal amount of shit because been through the same stuff. I'm in here just rapping, just pouring my heart out to this person in a room, and I'm like, yeah, just do the math. Like, look how much you getting paid. Look at your hours, yada yada yada. This, that, and the third. I'm on there trying to figure myself out. I'm like, bro, they gonna have me working 60 hours a week, and they're not gonna count my commute, which is an hour and a half there, hour and a half back, 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week. Like fucking, what's that? 60 hours a month that is not going to be accounted towards my 1,700, even though it's me traveling to work. And I got to get up at like 5 a.m. to get on the bus in a state I've never done any of this before. And the only help I'm getting is that stipend. So it's like, I'm doing this to them. Bro, I kid you not, that person walked out the door and never came back. Never came. They quit. They quit
Yeah.
that day. I just,
You made a
bro, I
man
had to
quit.
go. They quit. The girl came back. The girl, she's like, "Where's such and such at?" I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." She's like, "Oh my god, they're going! They're going! They quit!" Like, they're like freaking out because they're always losing numbers and stuff. But it's just like so many different levels.
Yeah, I mean,
There's so many different
if you think
things.
about it, who is going to work for $4 or $5 worth an hour? You can't do that in this type of age where everything is
Ooh,
expensive. or
Ooh,
overpriced,
yeah.
or the wages to live, it's not, it's ridiculous. But that's
And it's
crazy.
like we are the pawns because somebody's making money there. You know, those grown people aren't sitting in those offices making $4 an hour.
You know
You
they
know,
not. They're like, you making $4 an hour, but me, I'm making like 25.
I'm getting salary, my boy. I'm a manager of this nonprofit. It's like every single one of you that don't make it. What do you think we do with that extra money? We spread it around.
This is
We spread it
nonprofit.
across all
This is all
the
nonprofit.
book. No profit, bro. This is just salary money. But yeah, that's what, like it's crazy because I really love the cause. You know, helping the children educate because we worked in like, and that's how they play to your heartstrings. We worked in the literal worst schools by the books, like all the failing schools. The schools are about to close down in those schools. So it's like, yeah, you're doing a good cause. Okay, here's $250. See you next month. Like goodbye. And it's just wild. So it's like there's a lot of under like what does it say? Misunderstandings in that one. One misunderstanding was intentional, which is what the company did to get you hired. And the second misunderstanding I feel like was kind of like beneficial, which was I didn't know that you didn't know that this was some bullshit. So I'm just spilling the beans. Clearly she been listening to recruiters and like managers and all types of other shit. She ain't never heard it straight like that. And boom, out of there. Out of there. You know what? I was out of there shortly after too. I think I lasted like one more week after that. Quit on a Monday. And I was just like, cause the boss was like, yeah, we'll figure it out later. I'm like, my numbers aren't adding up. Like, I'm not gonna make it by the end of the year to 1,700, and I'm months ahead. I'm like 4 months ahead. I'm just like logically, working 60 hours a week. It's not happening. No, no. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll worry about it later. Yada yada yada. I'm
Yeah,
like, you're
no, they
bullshit.
they not gonna worry about that shit later. That's not.
Bullshit.
Yeah, fuck
And you
that.
know what's crazy? They let some dude, one of my close friends, and I'm not gonna expose him any further than
No name,
that.
no names.
Yeah, they let him work up basically all the way up until the graduation. And then they opened the file on reasons they were going to have them fired for months back. Right before they had to give him the money,
That's
basically.
messed up. So they,
So
so
he
they,
work, fired, everyone gets the money like the day after.
that's messed up. That
Yeah.
that's a scheming right there. That I don't. That
Scheming.
more on schemes another time. But like that's messed up. That's fucked up. But but misunderstandings and just in general are just, they just destroy everything, and it's too, it's too much. It's just, it's all just messed up. It's just like, just a little, if you just take the time to listen.
Take the time to listen. Take the time to enunciate yourself, to express yourself, to make sure people heard you. You know, take the time to if you are that person that gets frustrated when people ask you what the hell you said, maybe that's because they
No,
are listening.
no,
You know, because if I wasn't listening, I wouldn't ask you what you said. I would let you keep talking.
I got a quote. So this is something that I just, so sometimes I'll just, you know how I be just putting poetic crap off the dome whenever I'm like in a deep talking or whatever. So I said this to one person that was like, we're having a conversation, and they were expressing an opinion that I agreed on, but if people know me well, I'm the type of person that, as much as I agree with you, I try to hear the opposite side. I'd play the devil's advocate at the same time, because what I realized as growing up, everything ain't black and white. It's more on a gray scale. And so there were some things that I just, like, okay, I hear you, but think of it this way so you can at least understand it on this perspective. And then maybe, as much as you have your sided opinion, you can agree uh, on like what else is like to do, right? So
So
the
it's
one
saying
quote,
like,
yeah. So the one
oh
quote
yeah,
that I said was it's a huge difference in just having someone who listens and someone who doesn't. And if you repeat that so many like a few times in your head, you can understand what I really mean when I say that. So when I had said that to the individual, they were like, "Oh, I've had people who listen in my life, my sister, my friends, my dad, all that stuff, but they're not on the same level. Anyone can listen, but not everyone can understand why." And I said, "That's what I mean by someone who listens and someone who doesn't. Because you might have someone who's there that's listening, but at the same time, are they really listening? But if you
Mm,
have someone who really understands your situation, gets where you're going at, then maybe that misunderstanding wouldn't be there."
I understand. So it's like beyond physical. It's like someone who listens and someone who kind of you mean like basically understands
Yeah,
the whole time.
there's a person who's able, like like we were talking earlier, someone who's like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. And then there's someone that is listening, but the information goes in one ear and out the other.
I feel like you ever heard about that thing about humans don't really multitask and everyone's upset for like multitasking and shit.
Oh,
But you really only
multitasking is bullshit. I'm gonna say that right
yeah,
now.
and you switch back and forth quickly from one thing to the next. It's like it's so surreal, so possible. And my family probably because listen to him, I was the bad guy in this story in this scenario. My family don't appreciate when like I'll be engaging, I'll be in conversation with them, and then the next thing you know I'll be on my phone, and it's like I can sense how hurt they are. It takes one response. It takes one response to be like, uh huh, and they're like, I'm done. I'm done talking to you. It's over. And like,
No, nah.
maybe it's just my feeling on a personal level, but it's
Okay.
like they're like, you're not listening. I'm like, damn. I'm trying to do one thing for 10 seconds, and then I'm be waiting, but it's to do both. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say that reminded
Hello?
me. Yeah, I'm right here. Like I was gonna say that kind of reminded me of a scenario. So, I was there's one moment that I was working and I was speaking with an individual, helping them out with something, and I had on my Apple Watch I had a message, but also because it was like going off. It was like something that was I was in a conversation with one of my family members. So as I'm dealing with them and they were thinking, I looked at my watch to see like who had messaged me and I could message them later. And the individual was like, "What? You got to go on break?" I'm like, "No, I'm like you're fine. I was just seeing a message, just wondering and also checking the time." You're like, "What? You got a rush or something?" I was like, "No, no. Take your time. I am here with you. My apologies." But like I think misunderstandings can that that reminded me that misunderstandings can not only happen if a person just doesn't listen, but also through actions.
You think like your reassurance actually helped that person? Like we told them, like I'm gonna be with you. I'm here. I'm here. Like you think that actually calmed them down, made them
Oh
back
no,
into the state of wanting to talk.
oh no, that individual was just an asshole. But like I just dealt with it. Like I try to be respectful with everybody that comes in, but obviously sometimes I have an off day where I'm just tired, exhausted, or I just dealt with a really rude person, and I'm just like, all right, my day is ruined, but I don't want to ruin a customer's day that comes in, right? Uh, so, but yeah, that I just was like, my
Yeah.
or here comes a situation where say
Yeah.
you acknowledge your what like okay you somebody flips out on you
Mm,
and you explain to them uh like what really went on your side, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry that I feel like an asshole. or you're the type of person to apologize even though you didn't do anything, but or it was just all a misunderstanding. Like those situations, it's just like tough to just deal with.
I feel like working. That's the scary thing about me. I feel like I'm a hermit. So like a lot of social situations kind of put me up against like I just never know what the hell can happen. Like what's gonna come out this person's mouth. I never know what they expect them to say or how they even react to me.
You know,
So I'm kind
a
of like
hermit is somebody who travels around all the time, right?
a hermit, but
Yeah,
a hermit is also like a loner. Like like they don't really because they travel around a lot. They don't really have a niche. Like they don't have a band of friends and stuff. It isn't a group of hermits. It's just a hermit.
yeah,
And it's like a
that's
lonely
true though.
person,
Yeah, that's true though.
backpack, just traveling. But what you call it? So yeah, I feel like I'm always in a new environment, meeting new people, and like our lives, they're like parallel. It's like I can wave at you, we can talk, but nothing significant in my life is ever gonna affect anything significant in your life. I kind of like I don't know. I don't have a lot of those connections right now
I
that
don't
I
know
had,
I
but
don't know what you're doing there. You
just
putting
parallel
T.
lives.
He's like man TP pose.
Like, man, get the program. program, bro. But it's like I don't know. I feel like meeting new people is crazy. Meeting new people is wild, and that puts a lot of space for misunderstandings. And
All
you
the
have
time.
exactly to even meet a new person. I feel like you have to have a level of at least when you're meeting me. When you meeting me, you gotta you gotta have some tolerance because I have like I don't know. It's like ingrained in me to have a terrible first impression or like the most awkward first impression ever. It's just like I'm just constantly overthinking. I'm like, what's up, niggas? Hey. Nothing cool to talk about. Awkwardly leave. Boom. There we go. Established a relationship. I think.
No, that kind of remind like I hate how uh your first impression ends up being your last because of a misunderstanding.
mm,
Especially if it's with trying to get into a relationship or just trying to make a friend or just being
do
able to
you
just
feel
talk
like
to somebody in general. Just be like having a night, having someone to just talk with for a day, for a night, for an hour. Just having a normal conversation. How that first impression just goes right down the drain.
what I'm thinking about? Like I'm trying. I thought about so much when you said that because one, the first question I was like, have you ever done that to somebody? Have you ever cut them off because of one little thing and never done that again? And I felt like one the girls do that a lot. Why? Because talking to a girl is like trying to get into an Ivy League school. You know, you already know it's too expensive.
he's like
Like, well,
you
damn.
you you, you see Patricia right there. That's like getting into Princeton. Like what?
That's like getting into Princeton, young man. First, you're gonna need a loan because you gotta take her out. You gotta have outfit. You gotta have the transportation. You gotta feed her. All right, come on. What are you talking
You
about?
gotta have
Ain't
your
nobody else.
you gotta have your resume. She gotta know
Gotta
what
have the rest
she gotta
because
know she
she
gotta know your
comparing you to them other
experience.
candidates, my boy. What?
She gotta know your experience. She gotta know where you working at. She gotta know your job. She gotta know where you graduated from. Say you got a
And then there's like,
degree. Do you have money? No? Alright, you failed. You ain't getting into the Ivy League school.
mm, nope, too broke, out of here. But it's like that's what I'm saying though. It's just easier because women have more options. It's like I got 15 dudes coming up to me. One of them hits me up and asks me about my tits. That's an easy get out of here. 14 left. It's just like weed them out. Like
that is
you
that
just
is
weed.
that is true. It's like either getting to an Ivy League school or trying to get your dream job right off the bat
Mm-hmm.
after college. That
If you're
that's
going at if you're going at it with high standards, you know, like I don't know. There's a lot of ways to go about it. there's like having that dream person inside your head, which I feel like is detrimental to certain things, but whatever. Like there's that, and then there's like those people who are just like, oh yeah, I just feel the vibe. Like I've never ever like I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to be one of those people. And every time a girl has told me that, like I've just been left completely just like I don't know, confused.
What,
Not
like
even
they
confused.
what like the vibe is off or the vibe is on?
I feel like you'd fuck anybody if you were drunk when you say that. Like, like that's just such a flimsy ass door. But the problem is though, is like I only have my perception. So are women only saying these things because they think I'm cute and this is how they want me to react, or is that really how she speaks to everybody? You know, is that
Mm.
really how she speaks to every single dude? And I think it's a little column A, a little column B. Cute enough for her to speak to you like this, and there's niggas who are ugly who she won't speak to you like that. But it's like, yeah, you just gotta. It's just life. It's just life, my boy. Use goods, use goods.
Used goods. I mean, it's just I don't know in that sense, like, because I'll say there's some moments that where uh man, I got so many stories of misunderstandings, but I don't want to jump into them in the first episode. Like that's stuff that I want to save until like later. Uh, but but like I've had so many misunderstandings that it's like when you finally hear my side and get the full picture, it's like a pause moment, silence, and it's like, damn. I'm like, yeah, all you could have done was just at least say something. So like now when it comes to either just having a female friend or just someone to talk to or someone that might be a contention for a relationship. I don't know. Who cares? I'm not really looking for that right now. But the one thing I will say is no misunderstandings. I want direct communication. If there's some way that you feeling, say it. If there's a situation that is like you don't want to talk about it right now, all right, I understand that. If I pressure a little bit too much, be like, hey, you're pressuring. Just give me some time and I'll tell you. I'm like, all right, I understand that. My apologies. I didn't mean to be a pressure. I'd
I hear
rather
you, bro.
have
It's like
I'd rather have situations like that than experience or witness a situation where uh it just goes wayside out of nowhere when it really didn't have to go that far.
it's just like communicate with me. Don't pretend like I'm a mind reader.
Or or
And it takes mature people to do that.
or if I want to give it into your analogy, this is like telling the job person or the recruiter, be like, look man, give me a chance. Listen, I have the qualities.
Listen, man, I'll start from the bottom, okay? Work my way up. I'll do anything.
You don't know my experience. You don't know what I've been through. If you
I see,
understand
bro.
that, I might be worth the time.
He said, I'm a quick learner. I work hard, and I'm not afraid to get on my knees.
I don't know about that last part, but all right. But
Listen, it is what it is.
in this day and age,
You-
at this point, but I mean, at this day and age, and at this point, I mean, shit, it's like you said.
Yeah, I feel like society is so like it's like one of those Cartoon Network mosh poshes where it's just like like anything's happening with the cartoons, they're coming out of each other and eating one and turn into a dinosaur, turns into an apple. You know what I'm talking about?
I think
It's
I
like a
do.
really
I think I do know what you're talking. I actually, yes, I do understand what you're talking about. But at the same time, I'm trying to piece together your analogy on this
it's,
because you said
bro, like
Cartoon Network. I was like,
I,
where is this going?
listen, I just gotta stay away, bro. I'm only one person, okay? I'm only one
It's
man, and with I got my own set of stuff, and I'm not even trying to be selfish. I'm just like, God damn, there's so much shit to be, like going on. I almost can't afford to be involved in it. I don't have the luxury to be involved in societal issues because my issues is deep. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't know. I don't know. It's just like the more I wake up and like come into adulthood, I really think about how like media is just filled with a lot of really insignificant problems, you know, and it's just like a lot of stirring of that of
It's the
just
internet.
people. It's yeah,
The internet
yeah.
is the internet in itself is full of misunderstandings, misinformation, and a whole bunch of other just bullshit. Why do you think that was my major in college? Because I know it's something that people can be easy manipulated. People can like if they see something, they'll believe it. And I'm like, all right, if I take this major, I can not only is it fun and I can create stories and stuff, but I can identify what is truth and what is construed lies and what is misunderstood. And there's a lot of misunderstanding right now on the internet.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Exactly, man. And it's just like, listen, I'm just gonna figure out how I'm gonna eat tonight, and and how I make money tomorrow, and then we're gonna be cool with that. I pop on a game, roll me a little something, little Mary Jane, and then it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be peaches because I don't have like I feel like I'm in a stage right now. I'm really trying to grow into the adult that I want to be mentally as well, mentally and emotionally. So I don't know. Right now, I'm choosing to withhold myself from situations and, like not really get my emotions riled up. And in some cases, I'm thinking about riding the roller coaster at least one time, seeing like with control. It's like controlling your anger versus channeling your anger, you know? I
Mm.
want to see if I can do it tactfully. Anger, sadness, depression, all those things are emotions that could could fuel something, but they're there for a reason. Just like when you're sick or have a fever, you do something about it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so it's weird. But if I'm worried about society, I don't have time to really dive deeply into myself like this. I gotta worry about why Kim and Kanye are broken up, and why Kanye bought a house right across the street from her. He's just sitting like, he's like, what? Like,
I
what?
didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about
You
that.
didn't
But
hear about
that
that?
just reminds me you got to any listeners out there, watchers, viewers, whatever, two people tuning in, and you, James, if you haven't seen the movie Don't Look Up on Netflix, watch that shit. That is
Oh, it's
society
crazy.
to the T
I
today.
was just looking at that. I
What
was just looking at that. I didn't watch
like
all the way through because it was
yeah,
like 3 a.m. I saw like a few
watch it. Watch the whole thing. You especially once you get halfway through the movie when they decide to do something about the comet and then they
Why?
decide no, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just telling you. Like
There was
once
so much of that one sentence. Like,
no, just halfway through the movie and obviously you already know it's a comet and they got to do something about it. But once they do something about it, that moment right there, you're going to get
no, yo,
mad. That's all I'm going to say.
let me know in the comments if he spoiled anything. Let
I
me
didn't
like,
spoil
cause we
nothing. I
listen.
didn't spoil nothing. Look,
From
trust me,
that
cuz
sentence,
it's
a fairly intelligent person can deduce a lot of things, which is the
because if
first
they
half of
do,
the movie.
if they do, then that means they've seen the movie and they know what I'm talking about.
All right, what was I about to say? Have you seen the Spider-Man movie?
No Way Home?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you I saw it when it came out.
When do you think it's like unspoilable? Like, could we talk about it right now?
Honestly, it's been on the internet ever since the movie came out, and people have been tweeting about it. People have been posting YouTube clips on it. Uh, so it's kind of like already out there.
If you haven't seen the movie, you probably hate Spider-Man, or you're probably in a really bad spot right now. And I'm sorry for you because I was in a bad spot too, but I made a way. I made a way to watch it. Oh my god!
I said I
First of all,
made a
not
way.
even spoiling it. This is probably the single most worst movie experience I've ever had in my life.
Worst
Like,
movie
this
experience or
was
worst movie?
not the movie itself. The movie. We should do a whole episode on the movie, bro. We actually really should clickbait and all, and then just have a debate on it. But what was I about to say? No, just like the physics, I had the worst seats. Because everybody was watching it, so every movie theater was full. I'm literally watching a movie like this, bro.
Nah.
I'm literally, I'm literally watching a movie
Nah.
like
All right.
this,
All right.
bro. The screen is like so close to I'm watching it like this. I don't even. Oh my
All
god.
right. Well,
Oh
I
my god.
guess you gonna hate my experience then because here's what I'm about to say. So November 29th or whatever Cyber Monday was, that's when the tickets dropped for the movie, right? Sites were crashing. People were like trying to buy tickets to get the first showing, all that stuff, yada yada yada, right? I legit,
Yeah.
when I first got on at midnight, I only, unlike everybody else, I was looking at live streams of people like doing, trying to like buy the tickets. Literally, they're doing live streams trying to buy the tickets. They had to sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. When I first got on, I only had to wait 30 minutes. So I'm sitting there watching this dude. He's like, oh, my time went from 2 hours to 3 hours. And then meanwhile, my time went from 25 to 19. And I'm like, all right, bet. So I quickly got my seat. But here's the thing though that happened. So this one person, he had bought his ticket. Like he got to the point where he got to pick his seat and then he was going to do the transaction to buy the ticket. The site crashed on him and he had to start all over. Meanwhile, me, I was like, I hope that doesn't happen to me. So everything's going smoothly. I get the IMAX seat, and then uh, I was like, okay, IMAX seating and this much, and the transaction would not go through. And mind you, this is when they had time limits, so you had 10 minutes to get your ticket purchased. That the whole 10 minutes goes by and I did not get my ticket and they were about to kick me out, but I was in mid transaction as it went from 1 second to zero, so I got stuck inside the transaction and I was just kept repeating the transaction to hopefully make it go through, and then I got the ticket. I was like, oh, say
They
the
only
less.
charge you.
Huh?
It only charge you one time.
Yeah, it only charged me one time. And I
Oh,
got it. And
nice.
I was like, oh yeah, all right, cool. But I was supposed to see, but this was for the Wednesday after the movie came out. And then,
Mhm.
cause we were supposed to, me and a few friends of mine, we were going to go see it opening
Oh,
day, and he was going to get the tickets. But the next day, he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, I didn't manage to get the tickets. I didn't stay up the whole time or whatever." And then, mind you, when I'm in the morning, I usually check my bank statements, I check everything, and then I end up doing like random dumb transactions that I shouldn't be doing. So legit, I
yeah.
woke up, I saw that message, I went onto the AMC app, and I selected 4 seats for opening night. And literally, I clicked on it, the 30 seconds in, put me right into the site. Got my seats, paid it, and I was like, we're set for that day. Took me 2 minutes. And he was like, what? I was like,
Uh,
yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it. I'll see you there.
oh my god.
And mind
What?
you, it was top center. Nobody select their
Where
seats yet.
were you when I was trying to get some tickets, man? See, this is what it is. This is the other
See,
problem about gifts. My Spider-Man tickets were a gift, and I love them.
and
I love the gift. You know what I mean? But it's like if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I
look
could have.
if I will say this. If I had known that you were gonna, if you like were gonna go see it sometime, if you were to like, what day did you see it?
I don't know, Sunday, some shit like that.
In December?
Yeah, December. Oh, yes. I want to say right before Christmas, like right around before
All right, so
Christmas.
the Wednesday ticket was December 22nd, right? I gave my ticket
Mm-hmm.
to Brandon. IMAX, center seat, top row. If I had
It was
known,
one.
yeah, it was only one ticket. But I was like, I was literally hitting up people on Twitter. I was hitting up anybody that I knew that lived around my area. Was like, yo. I was like, yo, is anybody. But here's the thing, though. you told me you couldn't drive, so I was like, fuck, I don't know if he might be able to do it then. But
Yeah, true. It was only one ticket. I mean, in retrospect, it was only one ticket. I needed two.
yeah, you
So
weren't
it's
gonna
like,
if I even if I gave it to you, you wouldn't have been able to get that second one because that whole theater was filled,
you
all
should
of
have
it.
flipped. When people get crazy like this, $500
Yeah, but
male, male,
this
I
was
got two.
like legit a week before, so I wasn't able to just be like, all right, I'm gonna flip it, you know. But
True.
like that was
Hindsight is 2020.
but that was an experience, and that's something that
I mean,
I'm definitely down to talk about another time. But
about them old heads, them black people who be buying tickets from like sporting events and just be standing outside. But tickets, I got tickets. Like, how do they know they're gonna be profitable every time?
because people are going to
What
end up
is
buying it, people are going to end up buying it. Be like,
that's just crazy, bro?
you want to go to see this show? It's only $35. You're like, oh yeah, what's the show? I don't know. Okay, $35. That's
You're
not
true.
bad.
Have you ever gone? But now it's like I feel like I should just go to places off the strength that ticket man might be there. Like there might be somebody's uncle out there who got four tickets. He's like, I'll sell them, I'll buy them, I'll sell
Nah,
them, I'll buy them
nah.
tickets.
People on eBay were selling their stuff for $25,000. I was like, who in their right mind is going to drop $25,000?
What?
Like, who in their right mind?
What?
But on that note,
Yeah,
I'm gonna end the episode. We're gonna leave the end of discussion there. Overall, legit people, misunderstandings can ruin people's lives, and in order to prevent that, just listen. That's all I have to say. Do you have anything to say, James?
Bing bong.
Okay. All right. Well,
That's
thank you for tuning in to our first episode of the Twilight Taboo. We will have more episodes coming soon. You can find us on whatever you listen to your podcast, and obviously on YouTube if you're watching it here. And yeah, and we'll see you soon.
I'm excited. I'm just bursting with energy. I don't know what to do with myself. Oh, I want more.